So I came across this news story about big pharma stocks dropping because of news that RFK.Jr. would be appointed head of the health department. Y'all, I don't know about you, but I'm really enjoying these meltdowns because, whose side are you really on? We all know that America's food is severely compromised, and Big Pharma seems to be more invested in prolonging people's sickness for profit than actually healing people. So, let's get into this story.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been appointed by Donald Trump to head up the US Department of Health and Human Services. Trump released a statement that read, "I am thrilled to announce Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as the United States Secretary of Health and Human Services. For too long, Americans have been crushed by the industrial food complex and drug companies who have engaged in deception, misinformation, and disinformation."
When have you ever heard an American president admit that there is something very corrupt happening with our food and with our medication?
When it comes to public health, Robert F. Kennedy confirmed this, simply saying, "Yes, I will put an end to the revolving door." It seems the markets believe RFK is a man of his word and will indeed hold Big Pharma to account, as their stock prices took a tumble the precise moment this news was announced, according to the Wall Street Journal. This commentator confirmed the news, saying, "Big Pharma stocks tanked just moments after Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was nominated to be Donald Trump's Department of Health and Human Services Secretary. Moderna down 6%, Pfizer down 2.6%. Why? RFK has vowed to take on Big Pharma as well as the food industry for poisoning Americans. And the leftist media went into meltdown. The New York Times made no attempt to hide their thoughts on RFK, posting on X, "Breaking news, President-elect Donald Trump will nominate Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has spread false information about vaccines, to lead the Department of Health and Human Services." CNN also voiced their concerns, with the chief medical correspondent Sanjay Gupta slamming the appointment.
To experts in the health community, the medical community, preparing for him, RFK Jr., to be given some sort of role in health. What have they said to you?
Well, it's not often that the entire medical and public health community is going to be in lockstep on something, but they're pretty close on this in terms of their significant concerns, horror even. Somebody said to me today, I can't think of any single individual who'd be more damaging to public health than RFK.
What you really wanted to say was you can't think of somebody who would be more damaging to the medical community's pockets. One of the real stories and the victories behind Trump's win is the exposure of corruption. For decades and decades, we've had presidents, both Republican and Democrat, who have stood by and allowed the American people to be sold out to these huge industries, to these huge companies, and they did nothing about it. Plenty of the foods that are legally allowed to be consumed in America are banned in many other countries. Who's done anything about it? I got a few questions. RFK Jr. is the issue here. He's the problem. He's the threat. Not the fact that the same people regulating our food also regulate our medication. And it's just a coincidence that the food is making us sick. And so, of course, we're going to need more medication. RFK Jr. is the problem. And not the fact that we're one of the richest nations in the world, yet we're the sickest and the most overweight. With all the medical advancements, all the technology, all of the access to health care, yet we're the sickest. But he's the problem. He's the threat. RFK Jr. is the problem. Yet you all don't see a problem with the record number of autistic children and the fact that nobody can ask any questions why. That's not a problem. He's the problem. Got it. RFK Jr. is the problem. Not the fact that plenty of these doctors, and I'm not going to say all, plenty of these doctors push medication more than they push healthy habits. RFK Jr. is the problem. Not the fact that these doctors who who work with natural remedies, you know what God put in the earth, the herbs that he's given us, these doctors end up just mysteriously dead. You can't question it. Oh, it's just a coincidence that these doctors turn up dead. But RFK Jr. is the problem. The medical industry is sounding more and more like the mafia. More and more like even bigger than the mafia. Matter of fact, y'all sound like the Illuminati. Y'all are giving Illuminati here at this point. The more questions I ask, and I got more questions. RFK Jr. is the problem. Not the fact that for plenty of these medications, the side effects are more than the benefits. In some cases, you might as well just keep what you have and pray about it. Listen, the great physician is always available, and his name is Jesus. So if you're battling sickness and disease, I want to take a moment to say, be healed in Jesus' name. Let me get back to my questions. RFK Jr. is the problem, not the fact that the medical industry, our leaders, our politicians, these sold out, bought out news pundits have sold us out. They have sold out the American people. They have sold us out to Big Pharma. Oh, we know Big Pharma's pockets are deep. Oh yeah, RFK Jr. is a problem. He's a whole threat to your system of illness and death. You all have been getting away with this for decades, for far too long. And I believe that this is the hour of God's judgment. This is the hour of true justice. Some of these people that Trump is putting in place, they are God's instruments for justice. They are God's instruments for exposure. And before you get caught up in who's saved, who knows Jesus, who's evil and who's not, it's time for us to judge with righteous judgment. It's time for us to use discernment and stop ingesting everything that these people tell you, because they are profiting off of your deception, off of you being sick, off of you being ignorant. It is time to wake up. And so that's all I got to say. RFK Jr., I'm going to be praying for you, because I'm going to pray, and I'm going to ask every Christian watching this to join me in praying for RFK Jr. so that they don't take him out the way that they come after those doctors who work with natural remedies. No. There are millions upon millions upon millions of lives at stake here. So that's all for this episode, y'all. If you haven't gotten a copy already, get a copy of my book, Essays of a Young Melanated Christian Conservative Woman. That's it right there. That's it right there. It's available in paperback and ebook format. Get your copy today. It's a quick read and it will bless your life, okay? The link is in the description. Until next time, like, subscribe, and remember to share.